Hello, everybody. So, here I am with the promised video about honest truth about living in Costa Rica. Now that it's been exactly a year since we moved, I have collected some data about it and I can answer all the questions and maybe tell you something that you never imagined, or maybe you imagine and you just want confirmation about, or you're just curious basically. It's gonna be quite long, so if you don't have time now, you just save it and you watch it later. And yeah, so I think we can start from giving you a little bit of background about why we came to Costa Rica. When I say we, it's me and my husband. So we chose Costa Rica after carefully examining many different countries, mainly in Latin America, because we love this region. We just I love this part of the world. And I've been here before in my sabbatical. I traveled a lot. We both speak Spanish, so it's easy for that. I wanted to be in Central America because of the weather. I hate winter, I hate cold weather, and so here it's always summer. So for me, it's a great plus. And Costa Rica, in the end, after all the analysis, seemed to be the easiest country to go, or at least to start with. We were always very open in saying, okay, we're gonna go to Costa Rica. If for some reason doesn't fit, doesn't click, it's not right, we can go to the next one in line. And Costa Rica won, let's say, this test in the sense that it's very safe country compared to others in Central America and South America. And it's small. There are just a little bit over 5 million people living here, so it makes everything easier. There is a lot of land and less people. So after living all our lives in crowded cities, that felt very, very good. The economy is also in a much better place than any other country in Central America. And now I'm going to fall asleep. It's okay, I'm gonna save this live so you can listen to it later on. No worries. Go to sleep, rest. Yeah, so safer, better economies, more stable, no wars. They don't even have an army. Yeah, so many ticking of boxes, and that's why we end up here. And of course, I mean, it's beautiful. There are many countries in Central America and South America that are beautiful, and this is one of them. And the nature here is something else, really something else. And actually, I can go into the first point. Thank you, Anna. Oh, it's so sweet. This is the first point, really, that motivates us to come here, like nature. I spent, but also my husband. I was a proud, like, urban person before, but I reached the point where I just need nature. My soul is really longing for it, and Costa Rica, let's face it, and here again, pros and cons. Many of you asked me to do the pros and cons, the bad and the good. So of course this video is gonna be completely personal. It's only my point of view. Take what you feel is useful and leave the rest, or come and try it and see how it feels for you. I would love to actually know what's your experience. If for example some of you have been here or are living here, I would love to have your feedback too. So nature, it's the best. The plant and world, the animal world are just completely out of anything that I've seen, and it's so lush and it's so differentiated. Like it varies a lot. Like you can have mountains, volcanoes, lakes, rivers, of course amazing beaches. Animal wise, it's just, I've seen so many things that I've never seen before, including an armadillo that just lives by my neighbor, And of course I've seen armadillo many times in pictures, but I've never seen one just walking by me and being very friendly and relaxed, getting quite close. Of course not close enough to touch him, because wildlife is really wild here, but also not threatened, right, by us. And oh my god, armadillo is the sweetest animal. When you see it live with that little shell, it's the cutest thing. We have like this huge blue morpho butterflies. I hope one will fly by. They tend to fly in the morning, and now it's afternoon, but you're gonna see it. It's so big that even in the video you're gonna see it. I hope. Come on, butterflies, show up. And of course here there are the oh my god, bradipo. The sloth. Of course, it's like the symbol of Costa Rica, and it's really they are everywhere. Sometimes they're hard to find, but sometimes they just cross the street, like cows in India, or I guess like dogs in Italy. So it's really easy to see them. And so pros and cons. These are the pros, of course. The cons is that it's wildlife, so you have to be ready to face the wildlife, meaning insects that I've never seen before of any size. And it's really difficult to find houses that are completely screened. The whole point of living here is also to have like quite open houses, like airy houses. Someone told me that only recently the use of actual windows and glasses started to arrive in the area. Usually I'm gonna send a picture maybe in the stories about the house where I'm living right now, that like, yeah, everything is quite open. And so of course things come in, they also leave. They don't stay with you, right? Like they don't tend to, colonize your house. But I mean, you have to be ready to face some uncomfortable presence from the animal kingdom, and sometimes it can be snake. It didn't happen to me. I only saw a snake on my porch, very far. I mean, it wasn't like on the porch, it was kind of like going up a pole and on the roof. It was a poisonous one. Here, like, you get a lot of knowledge about which snakes are poisonous and which are not, because you want to know which one to kill or not. It is a thing about killing the poisonous one here, because of course they're dangerous, and they're dangerous for the pets as well. So it was a coral snake. It was beautiful. The colors, oh my god, so like shiny and brilliant. And it was by night, and it was really standing out. But it was like very small, and I've been learning a lot. I've been reading about coral snakes, and they don't want to be in the way of humans. They're small. Even if they will bite you, probably they can bite your pinky, so not a lot of poison will go in. I mean, of course I'm super like, I'm not looking forward to have a snake encounter, but at the same time it's not as dramatic as it seems, and so you can live with it. And in general, wildlife will try to avoid humans, because they are prey of the human. We are the hunters. So it's, unless we go in their way, it's hard that they attack. And I'm talking about not just snake in general. So I am very aware though, and it's actually a beautiful practice of awareness to live here. Like, you really have to be present, especially when you take a walk in nature. Like, even in my property, it's very big, and I can walk around, and it's kind of like a forest kind of place. You can kind of see behind me, and I wear boots, long boots. I'm always aware of where I put my feet. Yes, that's very interesting. Yes, we don't kill the snake, you call someone to relocate it. Yes, I've seen killing too, but I agree with you. The relocating, I'm absolutely pro relocating. So what I was saying, yeah. So it's a awareness practice. You always know where you put your feet. You always know where you put your hands. So it's another way to be present and not be in your mind. You have to be aware that you live in the jungle, and that's the beauty. And the difference, the big, I think, mentality shift coming from the city. That's for sure. Yeah. So Volar Puerto Viejo is saying, we don't kill the snakes. You call someone to relocate them, even the poisonous one. Yes. In fact, we didn't kill it. I don't want to kill them. And we called someone, but they couldn't find it. And so I guess he's still living around, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, so this is nature. I mean, there is so much to say about it. I think I'm going to touch on this later on when I talk about the other points. So talking about, okay, let's go directly to I guess the question that was the most, I think the ones that you're more curious about. Money. How do you survive? How do you earn the money? How do you find your fund your dream life here? So, and again, this is a completely personal story. So in our case, we've been planning this move for a long time. So we've been saving money. Costa Rica is not cheap. It is not cheap. Like someone would think, oh, okay, like Central America, let's go there. Someone from Europe, I would say. It's cheap. No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's quite crazy. I think it's going on everywhere in the world. The inflation and all this like recession bullshit. Like it's really hitting hard the people. And so it's happening here like in the rest of the world. But just don't think that you come here to live with just a few $1,000 per month. No. The rental is also quite expensive. Where I'm living is like a small town on the Caribbean side, and of course because it's on the beach, it's quite touristic, and so it's hard to find housing. There are not many houses built, although it is growing very, very fast. So the housing is limited and therefore is expensive, or it is used for touristic purposes. So if you plan to come and live to Costa Rica, by the way, this video is not for tourism. Like if you want to come for tourism, I can give you all the hints, all the suggestions, but it's just a different kind of, I would tell you different kind of things. This is like about living here. So if you're thinking to live here, just plan properly in advance. That's what we did. We have savings, and we have savings enough to spend a couple of years, let's say, not being too stressed about it. But then if we're talking about working here, I would say the best way is to, let's see, maybe some will disagree with me, but I think it's earning money from outside. And like a digital nomad, or working online, this is the best. And the government just launched, I think a few months ago, they launched like a visa that is especially for digital nomads, that is quite easy to get, and you won't pay taxes. So they are really, really incentivizing this kind of people to come here. And so I think with the income coming from a richer country, you're gonna have a more comfortable life. I mean, you can come even with small savings, but just be ready that maybe it's gonna be hard. I'm realistic. I'm not gonna promise you that you're gonna live perfectly well just because there are beautiful sloths and butterflies. Being honest. Another way to earn good money, and this is, I'm assuming from what many people are telling me, because I am not doing that, but it's tourism, hospitality. So there is a lot of tourism from the US, from Canada, let's say rich tourism. And so having Airbnb, having hotels, having any kind of relationship with tourists, that will make you money. Yeah, so more or less this is what I have to say about it. And if you have questions, please let me know right now or even later. I'm super happy to answer. What else? Okay, let's hit the things that interest me the most, actually, because they're like the more philosophic kind of. Okay, Costa Rica and the concept of time. Let's say that, for example, I didn't even realize that it was a year. So literally time disappears. Do you really have... I know this happens to everybody, but here it's different. It's like a bubble where the time is slow and at the same time super fast. Maybe it's because there are not like actual seasons, and it's, of course, there is like a rainy season, dry season, but it's kind of the same, especially on the Caribbean side, they're kind of mixed. And so it's every day is kind of the same, and that doesn't help with taking track of time, which, by the way, I love it. And then there is the other concept of time, which is about, appointments, meeting with other people. Like, there is this very relaxed way of living that really makes it very difficult to have an appointment and meeting the person at the time that you're saying. Even for classes, like, people tends to be late. Like, even, I mean, it's happening to me. I'm like, right now, I'm like, oh, it starts at 7, then, well, I will show up 7:15. But just because I'm precise, I've seen people showing up 7:30, an hour later. So now we are renovating a little house that we bought. I've been waiting for people coming, paid to come and work, an hour and a half. 90 minutes waiting for people to show up. When I sent messages to say, we're gonna see each other tomorrow, 9 a.m. Yes, 9 a.m. Okay. And the next day at 8 a.m. I'm gonna see you in an hour. Yes, in an hour. And then they show up 1 hour and a half later, and I'm like, what? So here I'm a Capricorn. I'm super precise. I like to be on time. I am very, I value my time so much, and other people's time. That's why I show up on time. And for me, this is like, it makes me absolutely crazy. And so this renovation of the house, really, it was like quite an intense renovation. Like, the house was a ruin. We had to remake everything. So it was almost like building up from scratch. Maybe it could have been cheaper and, I don't know, cheaper and faster. Maybe not faster, but maybe cheaper. So many things happened like this. Like, the time thing is like just one of the things that happened. But let's say building, and I'm going into another topic. So like, building your house here in Costa Rica is a challenge, big challenge. And everybody was telling me, so I was really entering the experience super prepared. Like, psychologically, I'm like, I've heard it all. I've heard of people having heart attacks, like going to the hospital. Of course, I don't know these people. I've heard from friends of friends, so maybe they're legends, I don't know, but having heart attack. Couples breaking up. Budget becoming like double the amount or triple the amount that was planned. So I've heard it all, so I was very my mind was set for the worst. I was expecting the worst. So that's why I think it went quite well, although I had many bumps. And you know that quote from Ram Dass that says, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. It always made me laugh, and it's really true, because with all the yoga I do, the meditation, the Zen, the healing, and this and that, I mean, I feel I'm quite ready, quite enlightened. Then in that case, go and build something in Costa Rica. And that's gonna be your ultimate test for your patience, for your Zen. But I mean, I like schedules, I like organization, I like to control time, control outcome, control people sometimes. So this for me is very healing. It's a very healing place to be, because again, everything is slow. Like, no one is rushing to go anywhere. And although I'm struggling and I'm like, but I am right, we said to meet at 9, at the same time you change the perspective and the point of view, and you're like, for what? You have all the time in the world. It's fine. It's like, relax. Even driving. Okay, this is another thing. Driving is slow. I was telling a friend that when I went to Mexico City like 2 months ago, and I got out of the airport, went in a taxi, and for the first time I felt the car going beyond 50 kilometers per hour, and I was like, whoa, that feels good. Because here, even if you're going from the capital all the way here to Caribe, and it's like a kind of motorway, but it's not a motorway really, it's a 5-hour journey, and you're just driving at 30-40 kilometers per hour. It's like super slow, because the roads are not in the best conditions. There are many trucks that are like almost falling apart, and you're like praying that they're not falling apart in front of you. So everyone drives slow. Plus here it's a very small town, so there is really no point in speeding. And it's not that I like speeding, it's just that, let's say I'm going from my house to the supermarket, and one person is just parked in the middle of the road and talking with someone else on the other side of the road. No, they have no problem in doing that. People, like, I'm not talking about locals, I'm talking even about people that live here for a while. And at the beginning it made me mad, but now I'm like, why not? Yeah, you found a friend, finish chatting, maybe it's something important, I'll wait, it's okay. So I really like what this country is doing to my psyche. It's really putting me in a state of surrender, and in a state of like peace and like tolerance in a positive way. So I really love it, and I am sure that in the end I am here also because I need that healing. I was too much, right? Like living in the city was my comfort zone, because it's where everybody just go, and everybody seems to have a goal. Every day, every hour is filled with something. And even if that's what comes natural to me, I know, and even my natal chart says that I'm a Capricorn. I'm all for like work, going up the mountain, climbing that goat, like going up the mountain. But instead, the healing for me is going into Cancer, feminine, relaxed, mellow, allowing kind of state. And I think that's why I've been attracted to this land. So for me, this is a pro. Even if when I'm telling it looks like a con, it's totally a pro for me. Let me see, I took notes so I don't forget the talking points. Yeah, I wrote patience. I'm learning patience, and it's amazing. I love it. Okay, another thing that I love about being here is the people, all of them. Like, of course, there are locals and there are many expats, let's say. Everybody smiles. For me, this is still mind-blowing. Like, I'm driving or I'm walking and you see people just smiling. They walk, they're doing their thing, they're not smiling at me. By the way, everybody says hi to you, like if they know you. Like, for me, this is so new. Living in big cities, this is so unusual for me. And at first I was a bit uncomfortable, but now I love it. I'm still in that mindset where I don't do it first. It just doesn't come natural. But if someone does it with me, I'm like, hey, hi. I don't know. I really love it. And what I love the most is when I catch people walking, doing their things, and just smiling. I don't know what it is. Or maybe I do. Because I catch myself doing that too here. I think it's the energy. I mean, it's a big center of some sort of healing energy here. And I'm sure that's why so many people are attracted to Costa Rica. There are these places in the world like Bali, everybody goes to Bali or to Costa Rica. Portugal now, it's becoming a big global energy healing center. And so there is that you kind of don't perceive on a conscious level, but you feel it on a subconscious level. And then literally, even when I'm having like the worst discussion with the construction guy that made like such an obvious horrible mistake in the construction, in the renovation of the house, let's say, then I look up and I see this mother hugging me and telling me that all is well. I see the hibiscus flowers opening up with these bright colors, and it's so beautiful. It's like pure beauty everywhere you look. And beauty brings love. Love brings lightness, and lightness brings smile. This is my explanation of it. Rational explanation. If there is more, I will elaborate more. This is where I'm at right now, and I absolutely love it. What else? If you want to know, please know something in particular, please drop the question in the comment. Okay, food. That was a question from an Italian friend, and of course I'm Italian. Of course I'm going to talk about food. Okay, I have to say I moved here from Dubai. So that for me, I think it's going to be like my talking about food is biased also because of that. Probably coming from Italy would have been different, but after many years living in Dubai, eating the first papaya that tastes like papaya when I arrived here, it was moving. Eating the first banana that tastes like banana brought tears in my eyes. Eating the first milk that tastes like milk. And I'm not even talking about organic, raw, farm milk. No. I'm talking Dos Pinos. I'm talking the biggest dairy company in Costa Rica, which I don't think they're doing like this organic. No, I don't think so. But it was tasting so good. And the eggs, oh my God, the eggs. It's just like everything is so tasty, like naturally tasty. And especially fruit here it's just growing here. Like here I don't have anything to show you. Well, there is a banana tree full of banana ready to get caught or ready to be eaten by animals, because I never managed to get them on time before animals know when they're ripe before me, and so I always end up without banana. But this is a different story. So yeah, food is special, like produce, right? Like fruit and vegetables is amazing. Even though I know that they use chemical, I don't really care, because after living for so many years in Dubai, where things were so tasteless because they were frozen and then imported and then defrozen, and then they just don't taste the same. Sorry to say, it's a thing. It's that's objective. No one living in Dubai will tell you that food tastes good, like fruit. So there is that, and it's really, for me, that's very important. It's very important to eat non-processed food that tastes good for my life going forward. My day is made by having breakfast with a papaya. Just love it. As simple as that. I don't want to change that ever again. Going back to croissant and coffee and espresso? No. Then there is the other, like, this is the pro, and then the cons is that local cuisine is not great, let's face it. But I'm Italian and I'm picky. I would probably say that about any other country that is not Italy. We're just spoiled in Italy, so I'm sorry. But in general, even, cutting some slack, I wouldn't say Costa Rica cuisine is the best. But they have a thing called patacones, which is like, my favorite food right now. So it's plátano that you cut, you slice it, and then you press it, and then you fry it a couple of times. I'm not gonna bore you with all the recipe step, but it becomes like a kind of bruschetta made of this fried plátano, and you put on top ceviche, avocado, which is amazing. Of course, the taste of avocado is amazing. Or really anything that you like. Maybe even Nutella. I should try Nutella. Oh. Okay, and it's just amazing. I love it. Thank you, Costa Rica, for patacones. Thank you so much. What else? Okay, another thing about the people. This is quite, some of you will not like it, and it's very like my point of view. I love how people express themselves with their bodies. Maybe because Costa Rica attracts certain kind of foreigners that are like kind of all aligned in a certain spiritual journey, self-discovery journey, and so people are freer in their expressions of themselves, as the body, the clothes that they wear, how they wear their hair, but also which tattoo they show. But also what was for me the game changer, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but that's my trigger, that's my problem, and that's why for me this is so liberating. So I'm gonna just say it. Body hair. So here you can see women just walking with their body hair everywhere, legs, armpit, like unapologetically showing off. Not showing off, it's not about just showing off, actually. It's just not shaving, and I love it. Like, it's like it gives me the permission to shave or not shave, to just do whatever I want. Like, I don't have armpit hair, it's not that, it's just, but if I don't want to shave for a month and show up like this, no one will say anything, no one will judge you for that. And that freedom of choice for me is so liberating. It is something that in the urban environment, in the cities, there's no way. Like, there is a way, of course, there's always a choice, but you have to be so strong internally to be so bold, right? Like, especially I'm a yoga teacher, I cannot even imagine to show up in my class and say, okay, lift the arms up and just, yeah, having body hair. Like, I'm quite sure, I'm confident to say that I would have no students. Yes or no? Is someone listening right now? Can you tell me what you think about it? This is, of course, for the women. I don't think men really understand this, or they don't care. By the way, I think men don't care about women's body hair as much as women care. Like, this is another fact. So here there is this like freedom of expression of your body, and it's way less standardized in terms of body shapes. Like, you don't need to be thin to wear something very tight. No, here it's like, yeah, these are my boobs and I love to show that. Maya, I had a yoga teacher with body hair in Australia. I loved it. Love it. Oh my god, she was so strong, for sure. Was liberating to see. Exactly. This is exactly my point. I'm not saying that we should all shave or we should all not shave, like that kind of old feminist mentality of like, no, I am gonna be strong only if I show my hair. No. It's complete freedom of doing whatever I want. And let's say in June I want my hair to see, in July I don't. Fuck it. It's just like I wear these earrings or like a longer one. Same kind of thing. And yeah, I just love it. I'm making it this long of this talking point because for me it is really, and I'm sure the people that live here are like, well, why you're making like such a big deal about this? It's so normal. It is not normal for someone like me that comes from Dubai, or I mean even in Italy. I would never do it in Italy. What else? Concept of time, people smiling. Okay, one more thing. Two more things. So I love, of course, the offerings that are here. Like, as I said before, there is a catalyzation, I think it's the word, of certain kind of people here. People that probably are not, and you definitely don't see that in Dubai. Yeah, no. I think I was really revolutionary in Dubai because I didn't have my manicure pedicure. Like, never done, ever. No, I've done it, but like it was like not a regular thing. Anyway, going to the next topic. So here is like a alignment in where their people are in their self-discovery journey. That's what I was saying before. And so there is so much good offering of healing modalities and a lot of access to plant medicine, any plant medicine. It's really, really normal to talk about certain things. It's very, for me, it feels very good to not even have to explain why I didn't get the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. Like, here the conversation is like, but yes, of course I didn't get vaccinated. Oh yes, of course. Like, it's a no-brainer. Okay, so we are talking about this kind of like, the conversation are really different. So the conversation about relationship, about yourself, about humanity really starts already at the different steps, because you don't have to explain, you don't have to start from the basics. So that for me is really refreshing. On the cons, because there is so many offerings, there is a lot of bullshit too. You just have to be very aware. Like, my bullshit alert antenna is very trained, I don't know, but but yeah, like there is also so many people that are not very professional, just offering things because it's Costa Rica, and I don't know, with not really good preparation behind them. And I'm talking about anything. Sound healing session. I went to a sound healing session. I wanted to stand up and leave. Like, the woman has zero capacity to hold the space. And we're talking singing bowl. Like, nothing transcendental or psychedelic. Nah. Like, it's very basic thing. I mean, not so basic if you do it properly. It was just terrible. And that has happened a few times, but it happened mainly with expats living here. I have the feeling, maybe I'm wrong, for sure I'm wrong, and maybe I'm judgmental in saying that, but it might be because, it's just people not really hardworking people. They just left their country, came here because it was easier, and just offering whatever they feel like they want to do on that day just because. Like, I hate that bullshit. In the spiritual world, there is a lot of that. You need to be prepared, especially when you're working with energies. You have other people's souls and bodies in your hands. That's when you have to be even more prepared. You have to be more prepared to be a space holder than a banker, I'm sorry to say. So I find a lot of like unprofessional situation. And the best session that I've taken, like yoga classes, kirtans, breath work, I've had with actual locals. So far have shown up in more integrity than expats. So for now, like, this is now my when I see there is a local offering something, I would probably go rather than an expat. That's my experience. It's not definitive of anything, it's just my experience. And I would love to hear from you. If you're hearing this even later, let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm always open to hear and to change my mind, to change my opinion. Absolutely. These are, let's say, take this video as like a section of what's happening to me in this very moment of my life. And that can change. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. Okay, last one. I love living in this small village kind of environment. Again, it's very new to me. And at first, it made me a bit defensive because I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna know everybody. Everybody will know me. And everybody, because it's very easy, especially when you have similar interests. I go to a lot of, as I said, yoga classes. Yoga classes not so much because I do my own yoga, but like other kind of offerings and healing classes. And so it's always the same people. And then you go to the supermarket, it's always the same people. And then, like, my neighbors know me and they know when I'm in or out. They all, like, everybody knows you and they knows all your movements, and that for some reason made me uncomfortable at the beginning. I really love the anonymity that living in a city gives you. And here I was like, oh shit, how am I gonna deal with that? But then again, this is healing for me. Clearly there is a trigger there for me why I shouldn't want to know that people know if I'm at home or not. Why not? What's the problem? So I am like softening this side of me, and I find it in the end very enriching. So Maya is saying, what's the name of the place you live in? It's called Puerto Viejo de Talamanca on the Caribbean side. And it's hermoso, as they say in Spanish. It's really, really, really beautiful. Right now, the sea is like postcard kind of sea. Sometimes it's more rough, but in this time of the year it's so, well, actually it's not supposed, like now it should be more rainy, as I said, raining, and like we don't have like 6 months of rain and 6 months of dry season. It's like what in the Pacific side is like that, and here it's more like a couple of months of rain. At least this is the experience in 1 year. Couple of months of rain, couple of months of sun, and so on. I think that's it for now. Ask me more questions if you want. I hope this was in any way interesting, helpful. It makes you maybe think about how it would be for you to move, to make such a different move. Actually, I'm gonna close on this note. It took me way longer than I thought to settle. Not on a rational level, but on a like nervous system level. My way of, but it kind of came up right in this monologue that I've done, like that I'm like my mindset is still there. It's now the grip of my nervous system was still holding on, and now only 1 year later I'm feeling like, okay, you can let go now. It's okay to lose time. It's okay to do less. It's okay if things don't come out exactly as you want it to come out. So this is the energy of this place. I love it. Someone would hate it. It's for you to decide. So thank you very much for listening. Again, I would love your feedback. Thank you, Maya, for being there and for your questions. And yeah, I'll speak to you in a year maybe to give you my insight after 2 years of living in Costa Rica. Okay. Mwah. Lots of love. May you be happy.